Hi guys, so here's our Dragon Time activity for this week. It's the West African Empires reading. I remembered to put DT in front of it this week. Wow, go me. So we are going to read and answer the questions on each slide. At the end, we are going to write a paragraph answering the essential question, how did trade affect the West African empires of Ghana and Mali? And we're going to use text evidence from the reading that we gathered, from the reading passages that we read and answered questions on. And of course, when we're done, you're going to turn in the assignment and work on any incomplete or missing work you have for any class. You only have 2 weeks left, this week and next week, to get any missing work done and turned in for myself, Miss Bragg, to grade it. Mrs. Romine, you better get your work in quick because I don't even know if she's taking it for grades if it's missing after too long. All right, so I've already got it opened up, and this is what it looks like from the start. Right, so we are going to be reading about the medieval West African empires of Ghana and Mali. We've already been talking about them in class. This text is divided into small sections, and each of these reading sections is followed by 1 or 2 activities. You're going to stop reading after each section and complete the activities that go with it before moving on to the next reading section. So basically what we did with the African religions, with the griots, and with the Mansa Musa activity that we did or are going to do on Tuesday and or Wednesday, depending on how the notes finish for my class. Mrs. Romine's class, you're doing that tomorrow, aka Tuesday. Some of the reading activities require you to gather evidence for the essential question. It is recommended that you read the text again to find the text evidence that will help you answer that essential question, which is, how did trade affect the West African empires of Ghana and Mali? All right, so as we can see, we have the reading on one side, we have the questions on the other. So for this one, the West African empires, the trans-Saharan trade, supposed to say Saharan, there's a typo, it's okay. North Africa and West Africa are separated by the Sahara Desert. It is the largest dry desert in the world. The arrival of the camel around 300 AD allowed travelers or traders in North Africa to carry goods across the Sahara Desert to trade in West Africa because camels can carry heavy loads for great distances in the desert without food or water. North African traders formed large camel caravans that often had 1,000 or more camels. The caravans were led by guides who knew the Sahara well. The journeys through the desert were risky because caravans could be attacked by raiders, get lost, or run out of supplies. If things went well, these trips lasted around 2 months. The trade across the Sahara is called the Trans-Saharan trade by modern historians. All right, and then our quick review is to type what you remember from the text about each term below in the spaces beneath them. It says to try and do this without looking at the text again, but that's not a big deal. And like usual, you will just double click in the box and you are good to go. Now for the Ghana Empire, in the 400s, the Kingdom of Ghana developed in West Africa where the Sahara Desert and the Savannah meet. The savanna is a tropical grassland area of Africa with scattered trees and shrubs. Major rivers in the area, such as the Niger and Senegal rivers, were used to transport trade goods from Ghana from the south. From the north, trade goods were carried by camel caravans across the Sahara Desert to Ghana. The people of Ghana mined iron and used it to make weapons. These weapons allowed them to conquer their neighbors. We've had conquer as a vocabulary word before. That means to attack, that means to take over, and take control of the salt and gold trade in West Africa. Ghana became very rich by controlling this trade. The wealth from trade allowed Ghana to develop wealthy cities like Timbuktu and Daejeon. All right, then over here we have central idea. Type a sentence that explains the main idea of the text in the space below. Now, if you're not sure what that means, if you click on this and you click on the link, it'll take you directly to a slide that explains the whole entire thing. So the central idea is the overall or most important idea of a text section or a paragraph. All right, so look, see if it has a topic sentence. If it doesn't have a topic sentence, use its subtitles. All right, and then here it is with subtitle. And here's an example. Tried to make it as easy as possible for you guys in case you're getting stuck. All right, and then gather evidence. Find one piece of evidence for the essential question and type it below. A piece of evidence can be more than one sentence long. Now, if you don't remember what the essential question is, it's down here at the bottom. How did trade affect the West African empires of Ghana and Mali? Okay, that sentence could be pretty good. Da 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 da. All right, now we're switching it up again. The salt and gold trade. South of Ghana, there were rich gold mines. Much of this gold made its way to Ghana. As a result, the people of Ghana had a lot of gold, but they didn't have enough salt, which they needed for their health. So they traded gold for salt with Muslim traders from North Africa. On the way to Ghana, these traders stopped at salt mines in the Sahara Desert to trade for salt. In Ghana, a pound of salt could be traded for a pound of gold. Because Ghana lay in between the salt mines of the Sahara to the north and the gold mines in the tropical rainforest to the south, it controlled the trading of both items. Ghana grew wealthy by taxing both the salt and gold that were carried through its empire by traders. North African traders had to pay a tax on the salt they brought into Ghana and another on the gold they took out with them. All right, so then we have questions. Type your answers in complete sentences in the space below each question. Why did they trade gold for salt? What could be traded for a pound of gold? How did Ghana become so wealthy? If the sentences kind of run over the page, like they're running into each other, you can just stretch out the box. That's totally fine. And then gather evidence. Again, find one piece of evidence for the essential question. Again, the essential question, how did trade affect the West African empires of Ghana and Mali? Now, Muslim traders influenced Ghana. The Muslim traders who crossed the Sahara Desert to trade with Ghana introduced the religion of Islam to the Ghanaians. Some of these traders built Muslim communities with houses, mosques, and marketplaces very close to Ghana's trade towns. Remember, a mosque is a Muslim house of worship. It is similar to a Christian church. However, the kings of Ghana never converted to Islam and attempted to contain it by keeping Muslim communities separate from those of the local Africans. However, despite the efforts to control Islam, some local Ghanaian townspeople became Muslims. The kings of Ghana hired Muslims to help them rule and adopted the Arabic numbers, language, and the alphabet that they used. The Arabic language, writing, and numbers were used to conduct trade and government business in the Ghana Empire. Right? Type questions. Nah, fam, we ain't gonna do that. We're not typing five test questions about the text in the space below. We're not doing that. No, I'm not. Not about that life. Instead, we're going to go back to gather evidence. Find 4 pieces of evidence for the essential question and type them below. A piece of evidence can be more than one sentence long. All right, so again, you need 4. If necessary, if it's too long, you can stretch the box out. That is fine. Okay, and remember the essential question, how did trade affect the West African empires of Ghana and Mali? All right, now we're getting to the Mali Empire. After the fall of the Ghana Empire, the Kingdom of Mali conquered many areas in West Africa, including Ghana. This was the beginning of the Mali Empire. Mali conquered a much larger area than Ghana had. Several major rivers in the area, such as the Niger, Senegal, and Gambia, were used to transport trade goods like gold, ivory, and food throughout much of the Mali Empire. From the Sahara to the north, trade goods like salt were brought by camel caravans. Mali gained control of the salt and gold trade and became wealthy by taxing the salt that was brought in and the gold that was taken out. Mali was greatly influenced by the Muslim traders who crossed the Sahara Desert to trade for gold. The wealth from trade led to the growth of wealthy cities in Mali and large armies that conquered land that were further away. All right, so for comparison, we're going to explain 4 ways in which the Mali Empire was similar to the Ghana Empire. Obviously, if you need some comparison, look back, read back through. You'd go back to slides 4, 5, and 6. You'll probably find them in slide 4, though. And then for gather evidence, again, we're finding 2 pieces of evidence for the essential question. We're typing them below. Again, if you run out of room, you can stretch the box off of the page or off of the slide. It is totally fine. Now we're on to Mansa Musa's pilgrimage. We will learn more about that tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on when the notes get finished in your class. In 1312, Mansa Musa became the leader of the Mali Empire. He became the first king of Mali to follow all of the teachings of Islam, including the undertaking of a pilgrimage to Mecca. Remember, a pilgrimage is a long trip to a holy site. Because Mansa Musa is a Muslim, his pilgrimage is to go to the city of Mecca, where Muhammad was born and where the religion of Islam started. Mansa Musa began his pilgrimage in 1324 with a caravan of 200 camels loaded with supplies and gold, and around 60,000 people. It is said that 500 of these people were slaves carrying staff of solid gold. A lot of our readings will exchange slaves for servants. They're the same thing. Mansa Musa gave away large amounts of gold as he traveled. When he passed through Egypt, he gave away so much gold that its price fell for many years. When that happened, that actually hurt the economy of Egypt, because now you're having to pay more gold for the old amount of stuff, because now gold is worthless, basically. A group of Arab scholars and architects accompanied Mansa Musa on his journey back to Mali. They had a significant influence on education and architecture in the Mali Empire. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage called the attention to the wealth and greatness of Mali, and as a result, European mapmakers began to include Mali on the world maps that they would create. And then we're going to summarize. We're going to type a summary that is shorter than the text by using only the main ideas, and we're getting rid of the details. Okay, when I say get rid of the details, I mean the things that don't really explain what happened. So, like this sentence, it is said that 500 of these people were slaves carrying staffs of solid gold. That's not necessary. That's extra info. You can cut that out. That's a get rid of a detail. All right, and then we're getting to slide 9. All right, so Muslim influence in Mali. Mali's large trade network attracted Muslim merchants. Many moved there to trade. They introduced Islam to the kings of Mali and its townspeople. The kings of Mali and most of its townspeople accepted Islam and built mosques where they could worship and pray to Allah. Muslim traders also introduced the Arabic language, writing, and numbers to Mali. They were used to keep government records, write history, and to trade. As Islam spread in Mali, more people learned Arabic so they could read the Quran, which was the Muslim holy book. It was also used by Muslim scholars to teach in the schools and colleges of Mali and to write books. Muslims encouraged the people of Mali to become educated, and they built schools and colleges in the cities of Mali. Some of Mali's trade cities, like Timbuktu and Niani, and also Djenne, became centers of Islamic study and learning, and Muslims from North Africa, Arabia, and Persia would travel there to study. So, in the space below, you're going to type a list of the ways in which Muslims influenced Mali, and then you're going to find another 5 pieces of evidence for the essential question. Type them below. Again, the essential question is, how did trade affect the West African empires of Ghana and Mali? And now, we're going to answer the essential question with evidence. So you're going to look over the evidence you've gathered from the text, and you're going to use it to come up with an answer to the essential question. You're going to type your answer to the question in the space below. Your answer should be a well-written sentence that restates the question. This sentence will also serve as a topic sentence that begins a paragraph. So make sure you indent it. And by indenting, you click in the box, and then on your computer keyboard, you will hit the button that is labeled tab. That gives you an indent. Look at the evidence you gathered from the text again and use it to come up with at least 9 sentences that support your answer to the essential question. Write these supporting sentences after the topic sentence as a paragraph. Be sure to include transition word or phrases. Now, if you need to see an example, here you go. This was also just the next slide, so you could have, hit the down arrow. So here's an example. All right, so the essential question for this example was, which side caused the trouble between the British and their American colonists? All right, so here's the essential question. It has more than one possible answer. So the possible answer restates the question and is the topic sentence of the paragraph. So you're restating the question by saying what your answer is. Okay, so if our essential question is, how did trade affect the West African empires of Ghana and Mali? You could say trade affected the West African empires of Ghana and Mali by ... Now, there is evidence from the text that supports the above answer to the essential question. The reader gathered it from different sections of the chapter as he read the text. So all the red is the essential pieces that he actually put in the gather evidence boxes. Now, if you need an example of transition words, those are on slide 13. Okay? Now, the rubric. Yes, I am grading this. Okay? So, you do not fill this in. You do not fill this in. You do not fill these in. That is for me. Okay? If you restate the question properly and it's well written, you get a 4. If you restated it as a sentence, but you didn't write it that well, it's a 2. If you didn't do it at all, it's a 1. Evidence. If you have 4 or more pieces of evidence to support your answer, you're getting a 4. 3, you're getting a 3. 2, 1, or 0. Transition words, if you've used them properly, if you've used as many as you need to, then you'll get a 4. Historical accuracy, meaning that you're actually using information from the slides, you get 4. Obviously, if more of it doesn't, then you're losing points. And then sentences, is it all easy to understand? Okay, it should be easy to get a 20 here. It should be easy to get a full 20 points here. And then the other points are coming from these slides. So you'll get a point for having this slide completed properly. A point for this slide. A point for this slide. A point for the gather evidence on this slide because we're not typing questions. A point for this slide. A point for this slide. And a point for this slide. And then the 20 goes along with this paragraph. All right, guys, you are working on this by yourselves. Have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.